Yo, what is going on guys? It is Midnight bringing you another video on Fairy Tail. Now in today's video what we're going to be talking about is 5 units that I'd strongly recommend for you to build if you're a free-to-play player. All these units you will literally be able to get, farm, or be able to get these shards very easily. And these are units that you might look at the start, and whilst you're summoning you might then start building those units, but these ones here are units that I would probably highly recommend for you to build, because they're easy to build up and get that second origin for them. And not only that, they'll be able to carry you through a great part of the game. So without further ado, we'll get straight into it. The one honourable mention that I will say is Gargiel. Gargiel is a very strong unit. The only problem with him is getting his shards past the login event and the the story event, where like you progress through and you get some shards for him. Apart from that, you have to get his shards from summoning. So that's the only problem with Gargiel, but as a free-to-play player, he will get you through the game, especially once you get him 4-star, very easily. He is a good unit, but I won't talk too much about his kit just yet. But overall, Gargiel is a good unit to build as a free-to-play, and honourable mention on him. Now, in 5th place, I'm going to put Grey. Now, Grey you get for free. Obviously, I think all of these units I'm going to talk about you get for free, apart from one, but very easy unit to get. So in 5th place, I'm going to put Grey. One is, I'm going to be talking mostly about their second origin. So Grey is a very good unit once you get his second origin. So his second origin gives him a HP increase. He gains a reduced damage taken upon gaining Ice Blood, which is 20% damage reduction, which makes him a little bit more tankier, which is his skill here. And then, the last one here is his passive skill, Ice Blood, can be activated regardless of his HP level directly, granting Ice Blood 4, enhancing his damage by 30%. So not only is he going to have more damage reduction, he's going to have increase of damage regardless of what his HP is. But yeah, as you can see here, Grey's Ice Blood enhanced for every 15% decrease of his health. Each enhancement increases the damage he deals by 5%. So basically the way this works is the lower he is on HP, the more damage he does. Once you get this one here, he'll permanently be doing extra 30% damage with that. In terms of his leader skill, increasing penetration is not that great. But the main part of his kit is he's going to have damage reduction on this here with his as well as damage increase, and that will work really well with his 4th skill, which will give bleed damage to the enemy. Now they'll take bleed damage and take damage equal to his magic attack every 4 seconds, which is still pretty good. So you can, and he also obviously has reducing their defense as well. So combine that with he's F2P, and he's pretty tanky, and he can kind of wiggle them down fairly fast. If you pop him with a healer as well, would be really good. He has a stun on his skill, and then he has a reduced movement speed on one of his skills as well, which will be quite good with one of the characters that I'm going to talk about later on. Overall, he's not amazing, like he's not going to carry you through the entire game, but as a free-to-play player, considering you can farm his shards from the elite quest and he's a rare unit, getting him to get his second F2P is still really achievable, and is a useful unit to have as a stall unit on your team, but whilst also still doing good damage. The next character I'm going to talk about is Lucy. Now Lucy has a unique reason why you want her on your team. You might look at her kit and be like, yeah, she's got stun, she's got imprison, she's got some fairly decent damage, but obviously, similar to Grey, you can farm her shards from the story, and similar to Grey, you do get her for free in the game as well. You have skill 1, which is giving them a stun, and it's quite an easy stun to pull off, and a short cooldown on that skill. You got second skill, which is damage skill, no big deal. Skill 3 has a 2-second imprison, which is really nice, especially with an 18-second cooldown, and has quite a fair bit of range with it. And then skill 4 is a bit of a disappointment on her. It takes ages to come out, but it does do some decent damage as well. Her leader skill grants control immunity every 60 seconds. Not the highlight of this character. Then you have Her passive skill, with Lucy in the team, targets that have stun, freeze or imprison will take 25% more damage. Now this is really good considering she has a stun and imprison on her kit, and many units do have a stun and imprison. So whenever they are in that state, they will take 25% more damage, which is really good. And you might be like, well, that's only going to be for like 2 seconds or 1 second or whatever. If you get her to her second origin, she gets enhanced 20% HP, and she also gets, when casting her first skill and her last skill, you get an extra 20% damage increase for 4 seconds, which is nice. But the main thing about this is with Lucy in the team, all control effects inflicted by allied wizards are enhanced by 50%. This essentially means if someone's going to be stunned for 4 seconds, now they're going to be stunned for 6 seconds. So you can see that this is going to go hand in hand with her passive skill. If you pop her on a team with loads of stuns, imprisons and freeze, such as Juvia for example, you're going to be able to get loads of damage basically pop off, because she's going to make it enhanced for a longer period of time, as well as increasing the damage to those enemies as well. So she's not going to be someone on your team as a damage dealer, but she is going to be someone on your team to support your team overall. And as I said, you literally get her for free and you can farm her shards, like many of these units that I'm going to mention in this video. So I put her at 4th place just for that reason alone. The next one that I'm going to talk about is Natsu. I'm going to put him at 3rd place. Now Natsu is a great character for damage, especially for Guild Boss. He does so much damage on Guild Boss for power days or mail days. Obviously he's the first character you get in the game, and his kit is actually really not that bad. The only thing that I would say is a bit of a downfall for him is he's skill 4 and he's skill where he screams and like enrages. You do kind of take damage for that. Granted, he does have a damage reduction on that skill, but let's just quickly go through that. Skill 1 is like an AoE burn attack, so he just does his Fire Dragon Roar and they get burnt as well as taking damage. Well, they get a 50% chance to get burnt, but the burn will last for 10 seconds and they'll take damage based on your physical attack every second. So that's really good. His second skill just is a punch, but is a very fast acting skill. You can use it to kind of close in a bit of distance to get all these other skills going off, so it's actually not too bad of a skill. His skill 3 enhances his physical magic defense and increases the damage by 25% next Fire Dragon Roar he casts. So, you know, you can use skill 2, followed by skill 3, followed by skill 1, and then you can kind of start going around with that for Guild Boss. So he just kind of stands still and he just screams and he just does damage to everyone around him. His skill 4, he jumps up in the air and he kind of slams down. This is probably, like Lucy, one of his weakest skills. Like, it obviously does a lot more damage, but the build up for it just takes too long. So he is going to take some damage from this, and it is quite easy to dodge, especially in arena, but in like things like PvE it's really good. His leader skill will increase physical attack for the whole team. It's really strange because his increase of physical attack is better than Gargil's leader skill as well, even though he's a rare character. So this leader skill is actually really good, especially considering a lot of characters in the game that are good are physical units. Then his passive, when Natsu's skills deal damage, inflict hit enemies with 1 stack of Fire Dragon Brilliant Flame, and basically upon reaching 3 stacks it basically deals equal damage to his physical attack, so you're going to be doing like extra damage every 3 skills you use on them. Then you get to his F2P, his Awakening, and you get 20% extra HP. With Natsu in the team, enemies that have burn will take 10% more damage dealt by allied characters, so very good considering his first skill does inflict burn. And if you get his last skill, the explosion of Fire Dragon Brilliant Flame will also inflict burn. So every 3 skills you're always going to be inflicting burn. So moral of the story is he's always going to be burning these enemies and they're always going to be taking 10% more damage with this. So that's why I put him at 3rd place. The people that we spoke about right now, we had a stall unit, we had a support unit for CC. Now we've got a unit that can deal good damage, especially over time. For like Guild Boss is really good, and also Underworld can be really good as well. And you know, I know I haven't said this already, but you can already guess, you can get his shards from the story as well. So those 3 units, I know they're the main characters of the show, but those 3 units are definitely people I'd worth building for free-to-play players. They're all really strong units once you get them second F2P. and you're going to be able to catch up with a lot of the mid spenders and a lot of the free-to-play players, because getting second F nanos is quite difficult. I mean, I'm a paid player and I've not even got one F nano yet. I've just got like 3 or 4 6-stars now, so you just won't be able to catch up to the whales with this. Number 2 is Juvia. Now, this is not a character that you're really going to get second F nanos, but she is an SSR unit that you will get for free, and you will get her 4-star quite easily. With your summons, you'll probably find that you'll be able to get a 5-star fairly easy as well. And Juvia is probably one of the best units in the game at the moment, especially considering she's a free-to-play unit. She is so strong. So you got skill 1, which gives the enemies imprison, and she uses this first in PvP. So, combine this with what's her name, Lucy. This is already going to be as strong. Skill 2, she makes it so that the enemies that hit with this skill are 15% more likely to receive crit hit, and it lasts for 12 seconds, which gives her enough time to use it again after. So you're always going to have 15% crit hit increase for your whole team. Skill 3, you reduce the physical and magic defense by 30% for 12 seconds whenever you use this skill. And again, it's pretty much going to be constant because it's an 18-second cooldown. Skill 4 has a stun as well, and it's got a short cooldown as well. Just overall, her kit is just so good, so useful. And again, combining her with Lucy means that she's going to do more damage with these 2 skills, and obviously with her 3rd skill. So, her and Lucy together are going to be a great combo, especially, if you're not got any other CC units. Then her leader skill increases ice attack, which is, only really good for her and Grey. So you could put her on a team with Grey and it's quite good. And then you've got passive skill here. So after Juvia casts Water Nebula, all allied wizards gain enhanced crit damage. So Water Nebula is her ultimate skill. So everyone on your team will have enhanced crit damage, which is good in combination with her skill 2, which increases the crit chance. And then you've got her second origin. If you ever reach this part of her, you get enhanced HP. Then when casting Waterlock, gain shield, which is quite nice, just to have a little bit of extra durability on her. With Juvia in the team, the damage reduction of Dark Guild enemies is reduced by 30%. So this is good against the Ratio and Sace mode. This is just good against anyone from Ratio and Sace, to be honest. All tier as well, and people like that. So overall, you don't really need her second F nanos to make her really good. Her kit overall is good in general, and that's why I put her in second spot, because she's just so strong in every part of the content in the game. So yeah, I'll definitely focus on her if you can, but as I said, you'll get a 4-star for free if you just wait a couple of weeks. The last unit I'm going to talk about, which is probably one of the better units as a free-to-play, is Leon. His kit is so insane, and again, you can farm his shards from the shop. Not from the shop, sorry, from the elite quest. There's a couple of missions, and overall this guy is just, he's tough as nails, man. He's got skill 1, reduced movement speed by 30% for 2.5 seconds, not too bad. Skill 2 gives himself a shield, a little bit of durability. Obviously I've not leveled up his skills, so these are a lot weaker percentages, but they will go up. Skill 3 will make it so that you reduce the damage reduction by 15% for 6 seconds when you use this skill. Not to mention all of these skills, apart from his shield, are quite short cooldowns, so you'll be popping these quite often. His ultimate skill will freeze the enemy for 2.5 seconds, and you might be thinking, well, this kit doesn't seem too good at the minute. Leader skill is very similar to Ikaruga, not as strong. You reduce movement speed by X amount. I think 15% maybe will be the total, or 20%, something like that. But reduced movement speed for the enemies. Then his passive skill here, with Leon in the team, enemies with reduced movement speed will also be inflicted with enhanced damage taken. So if you pop him as a leader skill, as your leader, or Ikaruga on your team and she's your leader, everyone on the enemy team will take 30% more damage. Now let's get into the big part of his kit. So you get increased physical defense with his second origin, considering most people are physical units. He's going to be tanky against them. Then he's got, with Leon in the team, enemies with freeze will also be inflicted with enhanced damage taken, reduced damage reduction by 40%. So once he uses his skill here, they'll be taking an extra 40%. And then when casting Ice Make Eagle or Blizzard, there is a 15% chance to inflict freeze for 2.5 seconds, practically making his whole kit able to freeze the enemy. So, you know, if you put him in as a leader and you combine it with all these freeze abilities here, they're going to be taking an insane amount of damage. And, you know, if you combine him with Lucy, again, you know, that 50% extra increase, you know, you're looking at that 2.5 seconds going up to, you know, almost 4.5 seconds. I think it goes up to like 4 seconds or something like that. 4 seconds freeze, and then you're going to be doing like bonus damage from that. And Lucy's kit as well is going to make her do more damage against frozen, stunned, or imprisoned targets. So if you put a team of Leon, Lucy, and Juvia, for example, or, you know, something like that, this team's gonna, even though they're very support heavy, they're gonna be popping off, and they're gonna probably be able to stall for a long period of time because they're constantly freezing the enemy, they're constantly stunning the enemy, constantly imprisoning the enemy. So, you know, you can make a really, really good team with just those 3 units alone. You could even argue, you know, bring in Juvia, Gray, and Leon into a team. You know, give up Lucy and, you know, pop Juvia as your team leader, and then you got ice damage increase for your whole team. I don't recommend that personally. I think Leon being leader is going to be big, but overall, you know, you can farm these shards very easily. And if you get these units 4-star, you can just buy 10 shards for 100 of these, and these are not hard to get. I know I said in my first tips video to always focus on this, but as you get further down the line and you start wanting to get these second F Nano units, you can really just focus on these guys here and, you know, get their shards a lot quicker. You get them from summons, you get them from story mode. There's just so many ways you can get them and get that second F Nanos and really have a one-up on the rest of the people that you'll be playing against, because there's such a big increase in power for that. But yeah, overall, these are my 5 units that I think for free-to-play players you should definitely worth investing your resources into. And then you can just save up your materials, loads and loads and loads. And, you know, you could just save up all your materials for a long, long period of time. And when a really, really good unit comes out, just go all out on them. Just go all out on them and try and get, you know, maxed out a 6-star F Nanos unit that is insanely strong, you know. Or someone for Mira Jane or Urza or Natsu Grey when they come out, you know, people like that. So yeah, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video and this has been helpful. And yeah, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. And if you also want to get a faster response, join the Discord in the description, and there's loads of people in there that will help you as well as myself. Overall, take care and peace out.